everyone, welcome back to my channel. A while ago I made it my mission to read all of Karen M. McManus's books. These are all of her current releases. She has 5 books out as of right now, but in 2022, as of filming this, I believe she has 2 or 3 books coming out this year. So once those are released, I will be sure to obviously go pick them up. I'm going to go over all of my reviews and opinions about these books and give you some quick synopsises so you can decide if you like these books. I have heard a lot of people talking recently how they don't like full synopsises. They like really brief descriptions of the book just so they can get the vibe of the book, or they don't like any kind of guidance to the book at all and they just want to go into a blind, because a lot of synopsises seem to pretty much give away the entire story a lot of the time or make it really predictable. So I totally understand, so I'm going to keep it a little more brief, but if you don't like synopsises, you can go ahead and just kind of skip through this video. Let's jump in and start talking. I'm going to go in order I've read these books just because it has been a little while since I've read these books. Most of them I read last year, so it's been a little while, so just so I can stay in the right headspace, so these aren't going by release date. But with everything being said, let's just jump in and get into the video. Fun fact, the first book I ever read getting into the reading hobby was One of Us is Lying. This is probably Karen's most popular book. This is all over TikTok, all over BookTube. It's literally everywhere. I just really wanted to get into reading by reading something quick, always attention grabbing, just page turner. This is a young adult. All her books are young adult as of currently, but honestly I think any age range could really enjoy them. Obviously they're mostly about teenagers, but I still find them really entertaining and there's always a lesson, and they're honestly just so enjoyable and twisty to the point where I feel like any age range could really enjoy them. This book is based around 4 characters, all interchanging perspectives, which I love. So you get everyone's view of everything, and I really love that. Basically all 4 of them go to detention same day, different reasons. Someone in the class ends up dead, and they are all obviously being interviewed, and they are all suspects, as well as they're looking into other options. But then you're bouncing back and forth between sports, romance, and like relationships and just teenage life, and it's just such an entertaining book, and I definitely see the hype about it. It just always keeps you interested, especially with that multiple point of view, and all of her books do that, so I absolutely love it. I gave this book 5 stars when I first read it, but sometimes I go back and re-update things on my GoodReads or just change my rating if I feel like the book didn't deserve what I gave it. This book has always stayed 5 stars. I love this book. Second book I read is the sequel in the trilogy of the One of Us is Lying series. This is One of Us is Next. The 3rd book has yet to come out. It comes out actually this summer, I believe. This book is also really well done. Basically, the sister of the main one of the main characters in the first book becomes the main character in this book, so you still slightly hear about the people in the first book, but they're definitely much more pushed aside. And characters you either hear about or don't know yet are in this book as the main characters, and I really enjoyed it because I feel like you're already kind of connected or kind of get the vibe of everyone. So there's this app going around where if you get picked, you either have to do this insane dare or a dirty secret is released about you that you want no one knowing. So pretty crazy. This also changes point of views, and there is a bit of romance in both of these books. All of her books have a slight bit of romance, so I personally enjoy that. If that's not something for you, you don't have to read about it, but it also is a pretty big partial plot. Like, it's not really like up front and the main point of any of the books, but I always enjoy a little bit of romance. So I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I did like the first book a little better because I did like the characters slightly better, but this book was done fabulously, and I can't wait to see what she does with the trilogy. Next book I read was The Cousins. I have yet to hear anyone talk about this. This is a murder mystery on like a beachy island, which that is definitely something for me. So this is honestly a really good summer read if you enjoy reading thriller murder mystery type books. This book is based basically around a really dysfunctional family. All of these siblings were disinherited from this really rich mother who owned this island when they were young. They don't really know why, but then they obviously had kids and moved on with generations, and now the kids were re-invited to basically go work at the island. They know nothing about this family. Their families are all like super disassociated with each other. None of the siblings of the grandmother talk. So now all these kids are going to meet their cousins for the first time, and there's 3 of them. and plot twists happen. They're trying to re-piece why the grandma would invite them there, but she's really distant with them when they get there, so they're weirded out as to why she would want them there in the first place. And this book was so entertaining. So I really, really enjoyed it. And I definitely recommend you read it, and it's great to read in the summer, honestly. I read this book last summer, and it was definitely super beachy and fun. And it gives me slight We Were Liar vibes, just based on the murder mystery beach vibe solely. I personally liked that book better. I think I gave that book 3.5 stars, I want to say. I gave that book 4 stars. I will say that is the slowest book of hers I have read, which I feel like she could have sped certain things up, but at the same time, I feel like when books do get slow, if they're done well, it can be kind of a slow burn and then make the plot twist or the ending crazier. The next book I read, and I think my only paperback, is Two Can Keep a Secret. This book was based around 2 twins that are going to finish off, I believe, their senior year in this small town that their mom grew up in while their mom is in recovery, and they're going to stay with their grandma, and their mom is very closed off and will not talk about this town. She doesn't like this town. She had a twin sister too when she was young who was murdered, and they never found the culprit, and pretty much the second these kids show up, murders start happening, weird things start happening, and obviously there's already talk of the town about these kids and this family, so everyone's really suspicious, and they start making friends and meeting people, and more people are becoming suspicious. And this book is based around Halloween, so it is definitely a spooky book if you want to read it in the fall, but this book is good any time of the year, and I really enjoyed this book. I gave this book 4 stars as well. This also has dual point of view. All of her books have dual point of view, so I don't feel like I need to mention it anymore, but any of her books are guaranteed to be entertaining. That's obviously why I've read all of them. Final book, and Karen's most recent release. This is You'll Be the Death of Me. Can we also talk about her covers? Like, I love how simple they are, but then they're so striking at the same time with like her blacks and reds, and I really enjoy them. This book is based in one day, so obviously that is kind of something I feel like you either love or hate. I'm picky about it. If it's done well, I enjoy it, but sometimes it's like only so much can happen in one day. So either it's really far-fetched or it just gets boring because it's like obviously only so much can happen in one day. So I will say that this book probably has some slow points in it. I enjoyed it completely throughout, and I got my friend to read it and he said he didn't like it that much. So I guess it's up to you. I gave this book 5 stars, I believe, off the bat, but then I think I switched it to 4. Yeah. This book is basically around 3 kids that were really close when they were young, and they all got along really well, and they all skipped school when they were young, I believe in middle school maybe, and they went and had this super fun day in like town, and they like got ice cream and just had a really fun day. And basically they all separated, this trio, and you kind of find out and piece back why. But one day they all ran into each other, and it was ironically a day they didn't want to go to school at all, for different reasons that you also find out. And they're like, hey, like, let's go recreate this day. That was absolutely so fun. And they witness a murder when they are in town, and they are kind of running from police, but also trying to piece back the murder and who they think was the culprit. And I will say this book was a little bit more predictable than some of the ones she's written, but again, it takes place in one day. I enjoyed it nonetheless. Again, dual point of view, romance. The romance in this book was probably one of, if not my favorite, from any of the books she has written, and I really enjoyed it. So I definitely recommend. I gave this book 4 stars as well. Sorry, we had a change of scenery. My camera died. Karen McManus is one of the only authors I have ever given such high ratings for all of her books consistently. She is always one of my go-tos. I am planning to reread all of these books eventually, and I just feel like I could pick up any of her books anytime and always have a good time reading them. So let me know if you've read any of these books, and I highly recommend all of them. I hope you kind of got a synopsis and vibe from all of these. With everything being said, I will see you guys all next time. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I love you very much. You should definitely subscribe for more book content, and I always appreciate recommendations, so you can be sure to leave those below. Anyway, I'll see you guys all next time. Bye!